Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back into the Manila Major Regional Qualifiers. We are here with our last SEA series of the day, and it is a big one. It is, of course, TNC Gaming versus Execration here in a two-game series. And right now, it's pretty big because, of course, these two are two of the top teams in the group. A lot of people would consider TNC, I think, the favorites here going into it. They were the ones going through the open qualifiers. The only reason they went through the open qualifiers is because they changed their roster up. But they made it through, and of course, well, Purge, I think they are the heavy favorites when you look at the squad. They've had a lot of good results against Fnatic, and I think a 2-0 here is not unexpected from a team like TNC.
Yeah, and it's a pretty safe qualifier in my opinion to go through the open. Obviously, NA is also maybe one of the other fairly safe regions,
Right.
With maybe only 4, 5, maybe 6 decent teams, good teams,
Right.
going through the opens. But they easily won their open qualifier. They're into the regionals now. They ideally for them have a stronger team, and we'll see if they can pull through and get a qualifier spot.
We'll have to wait and see. Execration is definitely not any slouch as we jump into the draft, of course. We get underway. Execration, we should point out, is they have the 2-0 in terms of they won the first series. They won 2 games. That was up against the Mongols, a team I think many people expecting them to beat. Execration being a team that's been around for a while. Very strong team. Not a real shocker there. TNC had to play up against probably the second best team in the region, or the team that I would consider them on par with in Signature Trust, the team that is also vying for that spot. Again, Group A, a very strong group, and because they came through the open qualifiers, Group A is kind of like a group of death when you look at it, because it's Rave, it's Execration, it's Sig Trust, it's TNC. It's just a lot of good teams. So TNC have that disadvantage. They have the tie going. They only have the 1 point to Execration's 2. A 2-0 for TNC would put them in a very good spot here, and we'll see if that is going to be the case as we jump into the draft, of course. My name is Mont. With me is Purge. Let's get underway as we have the slaughter pick to start things off with here, Purge.
Seems to be like the carry of the C scene, honestly. Like they really like high action, running around, stunning, and minus armor strats. He's not as favored in other regions, but they really do like him here. It's basically the armlet buff, pretty much.
Yes.
He is going to be the first pick, which leaves some potentially good heroes. Bounty Hunter is still in the pool. That's maybe the one that's most likely. But I guess the starter slightly protects against that since you can give vision to it.
They haven't been playing too much roaming Bounty Hunter. Either it's been banned, and we have a good track record of TNC's games because they've been playing through the open qualifiers. They've been playing mostly on this patch, pretty much all on this patch, exactly. Obviously, a lot of Lich. You could see that from the get-go, but that's been banned out. Enchantress has been played a fair bit. Nature's Prophet would not be shocked. Spectre, as well, has been picked pretty much in every single one of their open quali games, and even in a game against Signature Trust, but they lost that game. Sig Trust got Lakel's signature, pun intended, Medusa, and they won with that. In the next game, they actually picked up Gyrocopter. Witch Doctor was available. They picked it there as well. And they'll start out with the Beastmaster Witch Doctor 1-2 combo for Execration on their side, which is interesting. We'll see how this turns out. But for TNC, they go for the Slaughter, which they haven't picked that often. I'm interested to see how this is actually going to turn out for them.
Well, it'll give them the really good offensive options. I like it versus Witch Doctor Beastmaster. Versus the 2 you can always initiate first. They're semi-squishy at least with the minus armor, and you can still crush creeps, kill those as well. So I sort of like it. In the laning stage is pretty tough though. You're a fairly fast fish, but you can get chain stunned, and that's going to be a little scary for him.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, too? When you talk about Slaughter, I feel like he was away from the scene for, just like a month or something. He just wasn't picked in any of the games that I saw.
Easily a month, yeah.
And then just boom, Armlet. Yeah, let's pick him again.
Armlet, yeah. He just got completely phased out for offlane heroes like Beastmaster with Iron Talon or Faceless Void, which actually makes me a little confused. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Slaughter go Iron Talon and just offlane jungle. Like Beastmaster does, for example.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I'm a little surprised it doesn't happen, I guess. Beastmaster is clearly faster due to having the boars that can de-aggro him, and he can kite it better without taking damage. But
yeah.
A little surprised that Slaughter isn't used more in that way. But definitely he is mostly played as a mid or potentially a carry right now. Not much else.
Yes. That's I would agree with that. Well, we'll see how TNC decide to lane this up. They've picked the Vengeful Spirit now. The Beastmaster is up for Execration, like you talked about. Pretty good Iron Talon carry. We've seen a lot of teams already do the Iron Talon support Beastmaster, actually, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
It's worked out a little bit.
One of the teams that we had to play against, I saw them do that one game, and I was like, how do we counter this? They just hit 6 really fast. We can't block all the camps.
And you don't want to go into the jungle that early, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous to do that. I mean, maybe you make him walk a lot every time he goes between camp and camp. That's probably the best thing you could do, block the camp in the middle of the medium camp.
Yeah, you'd have to invest in wards, but there's that new camp now that you can head to that hard camp if you wanted to. It would obviously waste time, but he's going to find the level 6 inevitably, I feel like.
Yep.
Unless you're really planning for it.
And again, we're seeing some meepo bans in the second round. That happened in the last game as well. Is
Yeah,
meepo popular in C, I guess?
I don't know. I'm interested in that too. I haven't seen. So I've watched my fair share of SEA Dota over the past couple of weeks, months in particular, but I haven't seen many meepos.
Perhaps it's the Slardar counter is what they're concerned about.
Yeah, maybe.
It's probably not terrible. I mean, Slardar is, despite having an AoE stun, he is very much a single target hero. So if you just pull back the weak meepo and you continue to net him, he just probably dies.
Yeah.
I like the combo with Venge, though, another minus armor aura, which means taking Roche is going to be stupidly fast, and they prevent their opponents from having it, which would have synergized attack speed and damage.
That happened to the. Wait, no, did they have the Venge in the last series in that throw game? I think it was some minus armor along with. I'm pretty sure it was the Slaughter as well as the Vengeful Spirit with the Wraith King and Wind Ranger.
Yeah, you're right.
And so they just amped damage, Wave of Teared, and they had the Necro 3 in there. And they focus fired down Roche. He died, and Roche got buffed. And I feel like Roche is actually like, it's difficult to take now. Like it's the whole get a
game, right?
Yeah, I mean like, it just feels harder, in general overall. But with this light ump, it's gonna feel completely like the same. Minus armor comes out, you have good damage, especially if you have a good damage dealer early on in the game. Something like focus fire, like Wind Ranger we saw before, then it'll be easier. But they're on the Radiant side. I should point that out, even though they changed Roche a long time ago to make it so there isn't that much of a dire advantage. I still feel as though there is a dire advantage slightly for Roshan, at the very least.
For sure. The area is definitely a lot more open for the dire side. Not to mention it's just naturally closer to their towers and stuff like that. Makes a big difference. And Execration does pick up the Spectre. It's going to give them some really easy ganking in the early to mid game, especially Beastmaster. They could take Beastmaster +1, gank somewhere with the smoke, and boom, Spec Haunts shows up, gets some good gold advantage.
I feel like this is a counter pick, as you can clearly see. That they enjoy their Spectre, to say the very least. So Execration picking it against TNC is not super shocking to me. But TNC will go Medusa immediately after that.
Just to clarify this, the point where Mott said you can clearly see, you guys couldn't clearly see that
No,
only I could.
It was like Purge. It was for Purge's benefit.
He's looking at their Dota buff where they were picking it literally every single game with the exception of 2 gyro games, 3 gyro games.
Yeah, a couple gyro games here and there.
And
Gyro and Terrorblade game, that's interesting.
They pick some TB against some lower skilled players, I'm guessing is what happened.
Yeah, probably. They could get away with it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But yeah, Spec really good still. She did receive a couple nerfs. Her ulti cooldown is a little bit longer, and I think there was a couple other nerfs, but I can't remember what they were.
Yeah, I can't. That's the thing. Like I looked at it so much.
Strength gain or some agility gain. It was an agility.
Probably
gain.
agility gain. That
agility
makes the
gain.
most sense. I'm pretty sure it was that. You're right on.
A little bit worse as a right-click carry. I like the Medusa pick. It's pretty good against Spec Haunt. Just will freeze all the illusions, so it counters that. And it's kind of weak if Spec gets ahead, though. If she gets like Diffusal Blade Manta, then Medusa can be a bit weak.
Yes.
And she'll get mana burn fast. And to make that worse, Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, they picked the Medusa early. It could have been banned easily. I mean, 5th pick ban, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, a lot of teams in this region, in particular Signature Trust, as I've talked about before, Kells loves Medusa, so it's not a shocking thing that other teams would pick it up. The thing is that they picked it 3rd. They picked it into a Spectre, who is a natural Diffusal Blade carrier at some point. They let the Nyx Assassin go after that, not that they could do anything about it. Yeah. So mana burn is a big issue here.
I mean, it may still not be that big of a deal because I would say Slardar counters Spectre, and Venge plus Slardar is so much minus armor that no matter what HP he gets, he's still going to be fairly weak in terms of how fast he dies to physical.
Yeah.
So even Medusa is going to look like she's hitting hard physically.
And that helps too. Abaddon with a Aphotic Shield, Miscoil.
Yep, he can remove stuns, most notably Beastmaster
Roar, yeah.
Nyx Assassin stun perhaps as well.
Yeah.
So keep the Slardar and the Medusa alive, and they will continue to do damage and hopefully get your team a win.
This draft looks exactly like it seems, with the Slardar off lane, Medusa safe lane, Venge, Abaddon support duo. I mean, we could see something different than that. It kind of comes down to these last 2 bans, the last pick, especially coming out for TNC. But I don't think we'd see anything too strange coming out of this last pick.
Well, the only thing I have a question for is this Nyx support, or is it Nyx core?
Yeah, for Execration, I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like because we talked about this, the Beastmaster support was. We've seen it more and more often, and I feel like Execration wanna try it out
So
at
you
the
think
very
it's
least.
next off lane?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I'm not sold on that either, though.
they could probably get away with it due to the fact that there's an Abaddon bench. It's not super good.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Nyx Assassin, especially if he's playing in a tri-lane, he's going to suffer in levels. He won't get his level 6 as fast. The Beastmaster gets level 6 fast in the jungle regardless. And even if you block camps, so this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, he's going to get 6 fast. And so you get the Nyx Assassin and the Beastmaster at 6 roughly around the same time. So you set up Roar Vendetta ganks. You don't even really need the Nyx to be 6, just a couple points in stun even. I mean, obviously it helps to be invis, but, you know, I think that's the most... That's the best reason I can come up with. But if they want to do it reverse, or even in a different way than that, then I think that's fine too.
Yeah, they might not have too much trouble with that either because the supports on TNC is Avenge and an Abaddon Navigator roaming. So I doubt that they would get punished too much in their lanes despite having somebody in the jungle the whole time. Ember Spirit's going to give TNC a lot of good reach though. They can initiate ganks this way, pick off Beastmaster summons and things like that, and they're going to round it out with a Mirana.
Yeah, this will be almost certainly a mid-Mirana coming out for Abed.
Are you sure?
I mean, you're making me question myself a lot here.
Off lane?
No. Maybe. I don't know. Stop making me... Dude, listen. I've had a long night. I casted a 75-minute solo game. Purge is playing on that. Making me question myself.
Dude, I'm getting that limit, that 4 to 5 a.m. mark. That's where things really hit, and you're like, yep, I'm ready to sleep.
This is like the 20th time in a row where I've stayed up for like 24 hours and I've casted at like a ridiculous time.
Yeah, usually I ignore or try to not have to do those things in my
I
life.
don't ask you in particular because I know I'm like, I don't want to put Purge in this position.
Like I want to cast more, but it's like, dude, if it's in the middle of the night, I like my sleep. My sleep is a big priority in my life.
Especially if you have roommates too. That's like, ugh, that's not good.
Yes, I have one beautiful roommate.
Shoutouts to her. She's an awesome person. Oh yeah, we have a pause. Unsurprisingly, we've had one at the beginning of almost every game I've seen so far. So we'll see what awaits us.
Well, this is as a previous C player. This is a C special. C players they generally don't give a shit. They basically just pause games and they're like, all right, now that we drafted guys, we're gonna go
smoke,
pick up our groceries,
yeah,
smoke cigarettes, talk about how the game is gonna go, and then they play Dota. So they usually keep everything until pretty last minute.
You know what it is too? I think a lot of teams they're like, okay, you draft for me sometimes. I know that's how it is in at least in-house is
it's like, oh, I'm gonna go eat food. You guys draft.
You guys got the draft. I trust
they'll
you.
just show up later and they'll be like, so what we doing? And you have to tell them, and then you.
I'm assuming you were put in that position a little bit when you were playing with Zephyr at the very least.
I definitely alt-tabbed and browse things sometimes during draft.
So they're like making a point as to what to pick. You're just like looking at Dota buff. You're like, huh? What? Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah, something like that. It happens. You get distracted. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I've been playing for.
I think we have an answer to our question about Beastmaster. He's picked up an Iron Talon. He has a set of tangos.
That's the build, man. You just sit between these two camps. And you party, basically. You kill this tree, and then you just...
You have a good time.
See this? We just drew a dumbbell, and then you just lift that
He lifts, yeah. He
level 6.
Beastmaster's a pretty buff guy, so it's not shocking he lifts those two camps.
He actually lifts them by shouting. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. He also has friends to help, too. Not that he needs them, but...
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. He's a cool dude. Beastmaster, a popular guy. Regardless, they will have a jungling Beastmaster almost certainly. Mid Mirana build going with a 2-share Tango's Fairy Fire Wraithband for some extra damage, which you can really use because she kind of has a wet noodle for a right click. At least she used to. It's a little bit better now, but still.
Oh, it's still there. It's just he has a total of plus, what is this, 9, 11, 12 damage in his inventory. That's quite a bit.
Pretty good. Not bad. They're going to try to take a fight. At least Sam H is going to walk up. He's got Slithering Crush. Aphotic Shield literally mitigated all that damage. He's going to crush, and he's going to hit 2 with it, but I don't know. The Impale gets canceled. Juked. Now they hit it up. They also get the dagger off as well. Arrow comes through. Another good Aphotic. Magic Missile will go. They have Flame Guard on everybody, but Teehee, remember, you're squishy to physical damage. You've got that Flame Guard on, but you're paper thin when it comes to HP. They'll back up. They will give away that Bounty Rune. In fact, TNC get both of them. That is a heck of a start for this squad.
Yeah. I don't know if it matters as much as it used to. It's just gold. You can make that up by last hitting an advantage over your opponent. So maybe they shouldn't have been that aggressive, but they did force a lot of spells out from Extinction at least.
That's unfortunate for. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. The lack of the experience. I thought it was like I thought they changed it to like a little experience, not like nothing. But that's crazy to me that it just no more experience anymore.
Yeah, they kind of had to because it made so many matchups just super unfair. Like, if your enemy mid gets hit and you don't, then they're going to hit too faster than you, then they can pressure you in all these ways, and I think it's for the best. There's reasons to go to both runes. There's more active early games, but in the same vein, it's not like life or death if you don't get it.
So going back to what we talked about before, not shockingly, aggro dueling with Slardar Abaddon, they get a D ward as well. We talked about aggro tri-lanes and how well they work and how effective they are, but this is, I think, a pretty special aggro duel, and I feel like this can accomplish a lot, especially against somebody like a Spectre. Witch Doctor's good for zoning, is good physical damage. He has his cask as well. If he decides to go heal, make him a little bit better in surviving, but this is not an easy lane by any stretch for this defensive duel lane.
I like it versus the Witch Doctor, especially like if Slardar runs him down and stuns him. Like it's pretty straightforward. You can remove the stun obviously with 8 product shield, but that's the easy kill for sure. Low armor, fairly low HP. The Spectre, worst case, always just daggers into trees and runs away.
Yeah,
so
you probably need a third hero up here if you're going to be able to bring down the Spectre, or just a massive positioning error. I think one of the two. But we'll keep our eyes peeled on top lane right now. Teehee is taking a brunt of physical damage with his Flame Guard. He's getting good last hits, by the way. Teehee, 13 last hits on this Ember Spirit to the Mirana's 4. Talking about the Wet Noodle, it's still there. But here comes the Haste Rune Beastmaster. He, however, is not going to go any further than just running at Teehee. So
this guy's level 3 at 2 minutes, just from a simple Iron Talon jungle. It's actually amazing how fast you can jungle with it.
yeah, that's nuts. That seems like it shouldn't be it. We've come full circle. The jungle Ben Merlini Wu, it's back, Beastmaster. We're seeing it again, but this time even better than before, I'm sure.
Yeah, these fours are real good at farming. It's pretty impressive. Oh, wait. I'm sure you caught that right.
I definitely did. No way I missed that one, guys.
He actually almost died there. It was very, very close.
Yeah.
In fact, he's really dominating last hits. 15 last hits here. Was at 9 prior to this Starstorm.
Please do not yell at me, Chatterino, T-Tours. My apologies. It's been a late night. That is a big kill, though, for somebody that was so far down. He is very low. I think he's got a Salver bottle ferrying out to him. It's his bottle, but he's going to have to use every single charge in order to get back to even moderately close, decent health. And it looks like he might just wait for the rune. He's going to arrow. The good old arrow, it was a small creep, sadly. The Centaur Courser got in his way. Couldn't get the full value out of it, but whatever. I'm sure he's fine with it.
It's actually been... He's in a pretty good spot now versus the Ember Spirit. His net worth is actually higher, so I mean, just the fact that that guy fed the first blood or whatever, or maybe not fed, but he took the first blood perhaps. The bait, who knows? But it's going to put Mirana in a pretty decent position, especially because she can't really accelerate as well as a lot of other heroes. So
yes,
the faster she gets ags, the better.
This is heartbreaking for Chemo. That's 50 gold down the drain that he could have gotten. Just that sentry, a little bit out of range, a little wide to the right. So
it's 100 now, Monk.
Oh, is
you
it?
Should play support more.
You know,
be self-sacrificing, dude.
I mean,
gives less experience.
I just need to play more Dota, to be honest with you. I think that's just the general rule of thumb, is what it comes down to. I'm going to just blame it on that. So, yeah, he misses the D ward. That's going to make this still a little bit easier, or just as good as it was for Sam H, who's having a heck of a time top lane with 21 last hits. Nando has 20, so it's not like he's missing out on farm. Nando's doing an okay job himself, but we'll see how things turn. 27 last hits for the Medusa down bottom, who's in his solo lane up against RR. And it is the offlane Nyx Assassin's level 4. How's the Beastmaster doing if I have a second here? And it looks like I do. The Mirana is getting low as heck and is getting dove. In fact, will go down. I catch the end of the kill as Kuku comes in with Teehee.
No problem, Mod. I caught the semi-beginning of this one.
All right, so we got both of it.
Get this. The Ember Spirit used Flame Guard and Sleight of Fist. I'm sorry, Whirling Chains. Syrian Chains.
You got it.
And Venge was also there. She used her spells too.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
That sounds like a heck of a kill.
Mirana ran out of HP and then she died. It was.
Is that how it happened?
Yeah, I'm real tired right now. That's the most I can put my brain towards explaining things.
Venge dies to the Ancients, which is not unexpected. Meanwhile, down bottom, the Nyx Assassin has rotated. He is not level 6. He's not looking for the 6-minute rune. It's not anywhere close to being up. It's 40 seconds away. Top lane continues to be not a massacre for Sam H, but he's doing well. They haven't gotten a kill up here, but Nando's done a great job in CSing himself. You know, I feel like there should have been more pressure, but that pressure is going to come right now. I swear to God, if another kill happens across the map, I'm going to lose it. But it's a smoke coming out from both Cuckoo and AU. They're going to split up. One will go to the right, one will go to the left, and the Delta split is upon us. But this time it's for an aggressive purpose. But this is tough. Look at how far back Cuckoo is going. And you can see Sam H. He's just like, I wish there was a creep wave for the Dire team here, but it's going to be under the tower. Cuckoo's smoke has broken vision-wise. They do not spot him. He is sitting perfectly in that tree line. The Slithering Crush was about to go, but it's not there in time. I think he canceled the animation. Still no kills happening elsewhere. I do want to keep our eyes here, and it looks like they should find a kill. He's pulling the creep wave back so effectively. Slithering Crush, he misses! Swing and a miss.
The Venge showed now.
And Cuckoo is popped out, and Nando's like, all right, time to leave. See you later.
I mean, that was a very difficult gank no matter what, because the Abaddon doesn't really contribute much, just potentially a couple small nukes removing a stun, but that's not really needed against a Witch Doctor cast when it bounces, so.
All right, here we go. They're going to dive, though. I mean, they're past the Tier 1 tower. They're not really diving at this point. They're just in the middle of lane. Chemo will take the Searing Chains. They get the Wave of Terror off. They're looking now for the Spectre, who's still under the tower. Meanwhile, TP bottom is there's a dive happening. Abaddon's down here. They'll lose two. The Medusa goes down first. He will TP in. Spike Carapace comes up. There's the Impale coming through. Do they have the damage? The Vendetta hit will fly. Searing Chains has stayed too long, and he might get another one. They get the Starstorm proc off of the last right click. It's a 3-for-3 trade all across the map. Getting the double kill was Teehee at the end of the day, though, and that puts him up to 1,000 gold.
If only he dropped 2 remnants there, he would have killed 2 heroes right at the start. It would have been a huge gold difference, actually. Because he got, 400 from Mirana, but he split 179 due to not being AoE.
Magic Missile top, and they have the amp damage. They're looking for the Slithering Crush. There it is, and this damage, this physical damage coming out from both of these heroes takes him down at about 3 hits. They even have the Orb of Venom in case they need to slow him even further. And Sam H will finally find himself that kill that he was looking for on the Spectre for so long.
That's rough for Spectre, man. He's got 32 last hits working towards an earn, but he's definitely not getting his prerequisite by 10 minutes now.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the thing is, though, and this is what we see a lot of Fnatic do, is they don't put so much pressure on Spectre in the early game. They say, okay, you can get your farm, but you can come back with a good haunt. There's going to be a cask, and this might be the turning point. Nando's going to come in, might be looking for Sam H. They have the Aphotic Shield up, and Cuckoo's still here, and Nando has walked into a world of hurt. So I talked about him coming back into it. That was not the time for it. No Magic Missile anymore, though. They're out of mana as well as cooldown, so they'll have to back away. There was another hero coming in from the backside. It was RR, who does have Vendetta, as we previously saw. The Impale misses, and Teehee will pick up the Arcane Rune. A little battle over that top rune spot. He's going to Remnant forward, pop the Arcane Rune. He gets off the Searing Chains, and he does get Spike Carapace. The arrow's going to come through, hits beautifully, but they don't have much magic damage to chew through this Flame Guard right now. Starstorm will go. There's the Impale, and now the Flame Guard gone. There's the Vendetta hit. Can he Remnant out? Searing Chains will go first. He's low, but he will make it away. The projectile will not be dodged or anything, but it will still be enough for him to survive, and he'll bots, or rather just TP away.
That was really close. He actually almost died there. It was like 2 or 3 right clicks. Maybe if the Nyx had been hitting him the whole time and felt comfortable about that kill, then could have gotten him. But hard to predict those big arrows, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, it comes right around the corner, and you're just like, well, that came out of nowhere. But they're not going to use arrows for this kill. They're going to look for a Smoke of Deceit gank and try to find Raven, who is down here. And mana burn level, it's level 1, but the smoke is broken now, and the jig is up. They could have waited a bit for the Hawk, but they did not know that he was right around the corner. They dropped a sentry, assuming there's a ward in the vicinity. There's not. Nando comes bottom to farm. They'll send 2 Boars to sick Cuckoo or somebody, but a failed Smoke of Deceit gank comes out after almost getting that kill on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah. Medusa's actually not even that farm just yet. Phase Boost, Wand, Aquila, all early game stuff. So she's got to at least match what the Spectre is doing. Probably more, since she can't gank as often or use as easily.
Deuce is having a pretty good time. Net worth-wise, ahead.
Hits are the highest, so that part's pretty good.
Yeah. The Ember Spirit is top of the net worth currently. RR is here in mid. He's just taking Flame Guard damage. He really wants the Vendetta. He does not get the Vendetta hit off. The arrow will come through, but here's the Haunt. They really want this kill. The Roar comes out perfectly timed. The second Starstorm hit will do the job for Abed. That will provide them the kill. The Mirana gets it done, and they will finally clean up on the Ember Spirit yet again.
It was a 4-man commit to that one. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, but that Spectre, I think that's her earn now. It is, which she really needed. And she has phase 2 already, so Nando's not doing terribly bad.
Yeah, and every kill there on Ember Spirit is huge.
Oh, that's a buyback remnant in from Teehee, and Nando will fall. Wow, what a play, and they might get more. Sam H is low. They were looking for Abed. He's going to go ahead and actually, I think, get Moonlight Shadow, but they have True Sight, the Magic Missile. He leaps and TPs it. and they couldn't get there in time. Searing Chains wasn't there. Didn't use it. Might have been on cooldown as well, but still. They buy back to get the kill on the Spectre, which actually I would think was given to by Tiki. I don't know how great that actually was, but...
buybacks in the early game are pretty cheap. That one cost him about 381, so I'm guessing he went about even on it. Not to mention he got some experience from it.
Killing the Spectre, never a bad thing.
Yeah, it just punishes their opponents so much.
RR will rotate top. He'll look for a Cuckoo. The Cask will come through. There's the Vendetta hit, the Impale, and this will take some extra right clicks. They have Magic Missile, good spike carry pace, but good stick charge. I don't think they can get it. I thought they might have the damage, but somehow that Venge is tanky enough to withstand all of that pressure.
Is it the Tranquil Boots?
It could be.
I believe it's the Tranquil Boots.
The extra little armor coming out.
And the standing by the tower thing.
Yeah, oh, good point.
Think of that value, dude.
You forget about the armor.
The armor +1. So much.
You forget about that armor in the early game.
I'm so tired.
We're going to make it through this, man. We've got this game and another one to go. And this is a pretty important series. Like, this is really big for these two squads.
You know what the problem is? That this room has a closed door, so it's all warm in here. And it's making me... It's like I have a blanket wrapped around my body. That's the problem.
That's a good way of describing it. Does it not have... I don't think we have an AC panel in here, sadly. That's unfortunate.
Like that.
Would be nice to have, but... No, this... also, you know what's the problem? Is the AC's broken. So, that's also a bad thing.
I get you. Well, at least they offer massages
yeah.
in LD's room. It's from 8 to 11.
Yeah, you know, I'm not really going to complain about anything because that's the thing, and we're getting pretty well treated. So, anyway, back to the game. The Spectre has the phase. They have the urn. They have the haunt at the ready. Nando is...
Give him the snake.
Yeah, he gave him the snake. It didn't do too much damage, but it looks like we have a rotation. Not a smoke. Well, smoke from TNC blinks. Slytherin Crush the Haunt will come through, but Tams is in trouble. Slytherin does a lot. Plus the Searing Chain comes out with the Flame Guard on top of it. They'll use the Dusa ulti, but it's not going to do much. Good arrow will stop the further progression. Now Sam H in trouble. Good Death Ward gets the Slytherin Crush off. They'll take 3 down. They might get a 4th. Hey, bet he's got, of course, that Moonlight Shadow. He's going to use it. The Snake will come through the Magic Missile. They've got the Vision with the True Sight coming out with the Amplified damage. It's a triple kill for T. Once more, 1,500 gold in the bank now. A huge pickup for TNC at the beginning of this game.
These guys just make Slaughter look so strong. He just like goes to lanes with Blink Daggers and he jumps in and kills people. It just does so much damage. Hard stuns, man. You can't do anything to stop it unless you stun first or see it coming. It's just very difficult to play against.
He relies so heavily on that Blink Dagger, but man, when he gets it, it's as good as like an Echo Slam sometimes.
I mean, he's like doing amazing stuns even without the Blink. And now he's just going to continue getting kills. Spectre's going to be pressured a lot due to this. Well, he knows the dagger. Looks like he did.
Yeah, but he's not going to go for it at this point. He's like, listen, I need to farm my bots real quick, okay? Then we can start doing stuff. I don't really care right now, but let me just get my bots. He does pick them up in the end. He's level 11. Boots of Travel will come out at 13. He's second in net worth only to the Dusa, who after being involved in that fight now has a Yasha. Phase Yasha, no drum though. Might be due to the change. Might just be differences in play style. I know the Kells like Strum a fair bit, but that's not going to be picked up this game, at least not yet anyway. And they'll smoke up with 4. Actually, it was 4, and then Raven decided to last hit a creep, or try to hit creeps, but and still do a good job just baiting.
All right, next to us, break all the smokes.
Oh, they scanned.
Really good position.
They scanned mid, and they saw somebody walk through there. They know somebody's there. He walks through again, Chemo. They'll know that somebody's in mid. They're going to maybe set up for a gank. RR, I don't think scouted anything.
He did break all their smokes.
Okay,
though.
he did. All right, well then.
Hence why all these sentries are on the gun. They're like, why? What is going on here?
And he's now on the cliff, and they have no vision of him, and he'll just TP away. He has vision of Cuckoo. They know that he picked up an Inviziru, and they're like, let's not have our Spectre die up in the top lane, and hopefully he'll get out in time. Nando will just walk back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Thinking about Ironwood branches right now.
Are fortified.
Why is that?
Dire's top tower
I'm real
is under
tired.
attack.
Like that period where you're like not making sense in your brain. You're like, huh, what items? If I was Ember Spear right now, what items would I buy? And I was like, Ironwood branches for sure.
Super value.
Clearly, dude, 53 gold and you get 3 stats. That's amazing. 50 gold? 50 gold. It has been buffed. How can you buff it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Already too good.
Also, you could put it on the ground and eat it.
You are so right.
Dire's top
And
tower
you can put it on the ground and not eat it.
I mean, you could Bob Ross somebody, which we've seen before. It's a possibility. RR is going to be scouted out by this Observer Ward as well as the Sentry. Cuckoo's going to come in and Magic Missile him probably right now. They have the Spectral Dagger. It looks like a fight might break out. Boom! Blink, Slithering Crush from Sam H. That'll do the job there. He finally gets caught. Arrow comes in, almost hits Cuckoo. He's able to sidestep it, though.
And these arrows are just not the same as we saw in some previous games.
They don't have a Fisher to combo up, though. That's the problem.
Is that all it was? Come on.
No. It was
Come
a
on.
little bit of skill as well, for sure.
Just a little. Well, they're grouping up to fight. That's the pot multi. It's pretty hard, though. There's sentries actually
Sentries literally everywhere. Like, and they have vision of chemo. So they know exactly what they're doing. They know that Moonlight Shadow is out. And Raven is just fine with this. He says, I have split shot level 4. My Ember is going to come in and Sleight of Fist and help me with this. I'll take these Ancients, no problemo. And their entire team is around to help him. So TNC are putting a big emphasis on getting this Spectre, or rather, excuse me, this Deuce the lead that she really needs. The Spectre, who was having a pretty good early game, is now up to 1,500 gold and has to, well, go right into the Yasha because he knows that a Radiance at this point is probably unrealistic and not the best idea.
It's not very good against Medusa either. It's more of like an AoE damage item. So if you have an AoE damage item and you have a very single target or very HP heavy hero like Medusa, it's just not going to be a good solution. So his build is correct here. Just
Tier
use
1
little
tower
Manta,
trade?
and then you kill Medusa easier.
That's true. Okay, that's a quick Roche. That's what Execration needed. That'll give them some extra farm going their way. Nice pickup there. The Aegis will be grabbed by the Mirana, unsurprisingly. Had a double damage room, which also helped out with all that minus armor, which is what we were talking about earlier, which is how fast it died. Again, even with all those Roche buffs, I guess you could call it nerfs to the actual players, but so much needed gold going their way. And net worth-wise, that puts them at a 3,000 net worth disadvantage. Experience is just about the same.
Vision for arrows on the mid lane, and they're going to get ready to push the tier 1 tower. They're looking fairly strong at this point.
Do you defend here if you're Execration?
You always defend your tier 1 towers.
I think because they have Aegis too. I mean, they want to put a hard commit. They're just not going to defend it. They're going to head bottom instead.
They don't have
push.
Necro on the Beastmaster, but
Did he just use it to split push?
I really agree. They're very close to a lot of items. Like they have Blink Daggers coming on a couple other heroes. Or let's say actually Yasha now for Spec.
Yeah, the Yasha is now done. He might just go Yasha Diffuse, or he'll probably he'll maybe finish the Manta first. We'll see. The Necro 3, again, for those of you just joining us, this is a jungling Beastmaster. I want to point this out. It's like 3rd on his team's net worth, and he has a Necro 3 now at 18 minutes.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, they put a lot of wards down the Dire Jungle. Try to look for a engagement. They may spot Spec here. You will see.
They're setting up. Cuckoo on the front lines, has that Windlace, gets that movement speed, that tank movement speed. Won't find anything just yet. Execration are playing passively, and again, this is at the expense of Nando's farm, but they are finding good farm for our Abed now bottom. I feel like an Aghanim Scepter could change the complexion of this game for the Mirana, as it often does, but we'll see if how big of a deal that's going to be when we get to that point.
I don't know how much it's going to matter. Obviously, they can remove like Flame Guard instantly, and it might be able to do some damage to the backline, but against Medusa, it's good, but it's not going to be completely game-winning.
That's a scan. RR has been scattered out by a Dust. Arrow hits onto AU. Don't know if they want to fight into this. The bots is coming in, I believe. No, they TP away. I thought the Ember Spirit was going to come in and fight. This is Teehee's pushing mid currently. No, he TP'd bottom instead. He's got his Perseverance now, by the way. So they dodge a fight on Execration's side. They get out of dodge without losing anybody, and Abed still farming in 300 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. This is a slow-paced game, and now with the Lincoln Sphere on the Deuce, and maybe this is when TNC really start applying the pressure.
Yeah, they're definitely ready. It'll stop Roar at the very least, mana burn, stuff like that. So, and decent right click as well. Kind of a nice buff to the item. It's a little bit cheaper than it used to be.
Yeah, the
it's like
1,000 gold. The 1,000 gold, I think, for the recipe now instead of.
Oh yeah, I thought you said the total cost. It's about 500 total, but yeah, the recipe is a little cheaper.
That was the big thing for me. I was like, why is this recipe so much when the other components are already so expensive for the value that you're getting?
It comes down to what the extra value is added, basically.
Right.
So the components go into a certain stat amount, and they may or may not be accelerated, and they'll also have an active or something like that that also does something, and that's usually what you're paying for when you buy a recipe.
They did add the active a little while ago. The Aghanim Scepter is, by the way, picked up for Abed, so he's got that Starstorm, which is nice. They have RR again. He finally has a Blink Dagger I think he just picked up. He's on the hunt. They have very good dire vision, as you can see. all through the jungle, one on their lane and mid as well. They'll find 3 heroes in the process.
Plus they can haunt this way.
Yeah, they could take a fight. They have everyone in the near vicinity. I'm not sure if they want to go on somebody. Cuckoo would probably be the obvious target. Going on anybody else is difficult. He's still looking around, though. He's like, I don't want any part of this. And they're just TPing out. Oh, the Glyph comes right as the tier 3 is about to fall. Can they get the deny off in time? And the answer to that question is absolutely. They took down that Necro Warrior who could have done the job, but unfortunately that's not the case. And TNC will deny tower, deny some gold from Execration, and just make it even more difficult as they have that lead.
And in the meantime, Execration just passively farming like normal. 2200 gold on Spectre. Once he makes something like Manta, he can maybe start dealing with heroes like Medusa.
He is now top in the net worth on his team, but he's not farming with the rate that Medusa is, which is not shocking.
Yeah, if she goes this build, she's just really fast to farming. Max Snake, max Split Shot, doesn't matter where she is. But she's going to be able to do a lot of damage in team fights. Snake as well is actually quite significant in team fights too.
Yeah. Not to mention Snow Gaze, which I think is pretty good. They're going to bots in AU, or TE, excuse me, and they're going to push this tier 2 tower down bottom and look to take this. Sleight of Fisted up, Flame Guard goes, and they'll push this tower down with little resistance, it looks like, at least for now. They have a Glyph. They're going to Moonlight Shadow. They might set up a defense here. Might be too late by the time they get there. They clearly also want to go for top as well as Nando's coming in. He can haunt. Cuckoo's on the backside. He drops down an Observer Ward. There's the Moonlight Shadow. Sentry might have spotted Abed. They're looking for an arrow. They're already backing, it looks like. But here comes Teehee. He's going to get impaled up. Meanwhile, jumping onto Tim. Slithering Crush. They get off the Stone Gaze. They've lost one, and now R is in trouble. The Spike Carapace will not save you. He'll fall. Execration will lose 2. The tier 2 tower will fall immediately after. And we might see a tier 3 push, or at least some chip damage here at the very least. Not looking great. They didn't use Haunt at the very least, but still, that's not a great fight.
Yeah, Haunt's not going to really do that much. They tried to do this cool combo with Arrow, but it got hit by a creep.
Oh, they're going for more. Chemo's going to get hit up. He does survive Magic Missile. He's got armor reduction up the wazoo. The Ver comes out into TE. They really need to find this kill. The Haunt will come out. He's taking a lot of damage. The Mana Burn is there. They heal him back up the Aphotic Shield, the Mist Coil. Great Sleight of Fist coming out doing some work as well, but TE's still in trouble out of mana. There comes the Borrowed Time. He gets off the Mist Coil. They'll take down another. The Spectre ends up falling, and Teehee survives. He'll bots back with the Remnant in place to help push again. And Cuckoo, he's low, but he can Tranquils back up as well. He gets his Battle Fury now, and they can continue with the commands with this push. They don't have to deal with Haunt anymore. It's down for 36 seconds, or rather, he's dead for 36 seconds. Haunt's down for 98. So they could keep pushing here, Purge.
Yep, that's a pretty good advantage. I don't know if they'll be able to take a melee barracks, maybe a range, but and they have almost no creeps. But they're definitely scared of the buyback.
They're thinking about it. Arrow will come in. Raven walks into it instead of away from it, but he gets the Aphotic Shield off. Now they swap in. Actually, R is in trouble. They swapped as they Slithering Crush. That was awkward to watch, but they get the kill nonetheless. Here comes the Remnant coming through. They've got the Searing Change. The Flame Guard is about to go. He's already used it. The Death Ward comes out. Just try to stop this freaking massacre from happening underneath their fountain, but at this point it's too late. They're already going work on the racks, and it looks like this should be a full set, and maybe even the game now that the Marauder is dead for 40. They're going to find Nando again. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chain comes out. He has to Manta to get away. Chemo might not be so lucky. Gets a good cask off and will high-tail it back towards the racks up top, and it looks like they should lose now probably a full set of racks at the very least.
Bad timing to lose a 24-minute set of racks, especially as a Spectre who didn't go Radiance, so he's not going to hit this like really huge power curve where he gets really strong to beat until much later. And even then, it's never going to be as strong as it is as you get Radiance against a lot of heroes. So TNC is going to back off pretty happy, passively farming for a bit, maybe grab another item or group up and Roche and then do the same on the other lanes.
I'd say 10,000 net worth advantage now, which is not shocking. The Butterfly also picked up for Raven. He's got his Yasha ready to go. He's had that for a while. He can turn that into a Manta at any point in time. Now a 4-staff up for the Slaughter because added mobility is just what he needs. And another item came out. I think it was on the other side, though. Maybe not. Maybe it was something else that I missed. It was the Blink, I think, for Teehee. He picked that up. I didn't see him have that before. So they have every item available to them at this point to probably just win the game here from here on out. You know. Take down the last tier 2 towers and go from there. I don't see TNC having too much. And again, because this is the squad that TNC is. Look at that swap, too. They're going to find Nando. Haunt, he actually realities out. He jukes them, and he goes around the corner. Then he realities further, I believe. He's up to the top lane now. He somehow got out of there. That was a Houdini play from Nando. That was actually kind of crazy.
It's really hard to get those ganks off, basically. You have to do chain stun and a chain stun. And the build that Venge went here is very heavy in terms of ally damage, but it's very weak in terms of magic missile duration stun. And this is one of the recent nukes as well, or nerfs, sorry. Is that the stun duration was low if you only left one skill point in. So they get a little punished here, they don't get the kill they actually want, and it's going to allow the hero to still flip through.
Still, there's no haunt, though. But, I mean, it would have been better if they just got the kill, because then they just push into high ground without having to deal with the Spectre at all. Blink in from Teehee was looking for a Searing Chains. He actually finds out on R, does like almost all of his HP in the process. Roche is up in 55, which could be a backing point for TNC if they want to try to take it. Moonlight Shadow will go. I don't know if they can really do anything about this. They have Death Ward up and ready to go. They have the arrows ready to fire, but...
Are they going to shroud at him? Ember Spirit in trouble.
Abed, he's going to get jumped on. It looks like Sleight of Fist Searing Chains will hit on it too. Here comes the Death Ward, though. Nicely placed. The Raven taking no damage. Roar comes out. Impale onto 3. Can they do any more damage? Cuckoo is up in the front lines, just hitting people at this point. RR gets pushed back, already using a Spike Carapace. Abed will fall first, dead for 53. Another great Slithering Crush in Sam H. Going to work, gets the bash on a Chemo, and Raven finds himself a double kill. Arrow splits the uprights. Here comes the Starstorm. Not enough damage. Abed will fall yet again. Down for 66. Nando about to go down the last right click. Raven picks up an ultra kill. That'll be the end of the game. Execration lose 23-5 at 26 minutes in, and some great play. That aggro dual lane top coming out. Sam H having some extraordinarily strong Slithering Crush's Purge. That really, I think, brought them the game in the end.
I mean, they had a lot of really good KDAs on their team, and Medusa just farmed insanely fast, and then all of a sudden it just turned into high ground pushes, and they kept getting heroes out of position. I mean, obviously the Blink Daggers make huge, they matter a lot for that, but they couldn't respond as well. They had a lot of good ganks early coming from Extinction, but some of them didn't quite hit perfectly on Ember Spirit. They threw a lot into it, but it didn't give them as many kills as they really needed to.
Right.
And in the mid game, the Medusa was just untouchable in a lot of ways. They didn't have enough single target disable.
And you look at also the arrows that we saw in the last series and the arrows we saw in this series. And a lot of it has to do, I think, with setups, as I was talking about the Fisher, but also just general skill as well. He just got a little bit unlucky in that regard to a certain extent. So it happens. Execration, they will go down. TNC will get the first victory in this particular series, which they really need. They really need a 2-0, I think. Execration already sitting at a 2-0. TNC sitting at tie with, of course, Sig Trust. So pretty important game number 2 coming up, guys, here on Beyond the Summit 3. So make sure you guys stick around. We'll be back in just a second.